Antonio starts right now.
Okay, you see it on your screen there. Light mist in our area. 63 degrees at 6 a.m. Sarah says there's still a chance for rain this weekend. She is going to explain in just a bit.
Good morning. It's 6 o'clock on Saturday, March 16th. I'm so glad to join you ladies this morning.
Welcome, Erica.
Thanks for having me. Again, I like to be with y'all.
Yeah, it's good to have you. I hope that you've enjoyed your spring break with your kiddos. I know you've been working real hard on a lot of important trials in town, but some time with your kids?
A little.
Yeah.
We're hoping next week.
Well, hopefully you get some good time this weekend with them. And Sarah, I know a lot of people in town for spring break.
Yeah.
Rain kind of hit or miss in the area. Can we still expect some this weekend?
We can. Now, I have lowered coverage of rain just a little bit. As expected, the rain this weekend is not going to make it a washout, but it is going to make it damp at times. We'll have spotty showers, even a few storms possible, but again, not a washout. That's an important thing to keep in mind. As we take a look at the authority radar right now around San Antonio, we've got areas of mist here, some mist moving into Gonzales County. Let's go to the southwest, though, near Pearsall and Frio County and near Dilley, some flashes of lightning. These showers and storms are going to track northeast towards San Antonio. Notice how they're spotty. It's not raining in every location. These kinds of showers and a few rumbles of thunder are what is possible today. A look outside with live cam. It is misty out there and it's a little on the cooler side, 62 degrees, east-northeast winds at about 10 miles per hour. Here's a look at this weekend's forecast. 40% coverage of a few showers and storms, so not a washout, but odds are you are at least going to see some rain, some storms this weekend. High temperatures right near 70 degrees. Coming up, we're going to talk about how next week will be a little bit cooler. Erica, Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. Burdensome and unnecessary. That's how Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzales describes the Texas Attorney General's newly proposed rules.
Yeah, Sarah, they would make it so the AG's office has more oversight over district attorneys. Ken Paxton's office announced the proposal earlier this week. District and county attorneys would be required to provide additional reporting, quote, relating to criminal matters and interests relating to the state.
So that includes cases in which a peace officer or poll watcher is indicted, or cases wherein a person arrested for a violent crime is not indicted. The proposal also lays out consequences for noncompliance, including petitions from removal from office. So that would apply to district and county attorneys in counties with populations over 250,000 people. That includes Bexar County DA Joe Gonzales.
The DA's office released a statement saying, in part, quote, shifting limited resources from the courtroom to the copy room in order to comply with these new rules will greatly impact our mission. This proposal from the Attorney General is burdensome, unnecessary, and potentially very costly to our citizens.
So the state attorney general released a statement Wednesday on the proposal that says, in part, quote, district attorneys who choose not to prosecute criminals appropriately have created unthinkable damage in Texas communities. These enhanced reporting standards will create much needed transparency and enable the public to hold their elected officials accountable.
Now, the proposed rule was published in the Texas Register on March 8th, which marked the beginning of a 30-day comment period.
So once that ends in early April, the AG's office says it can enact a final rule. You can read the DA's full statement as well as the Attorney General's proposed rules. Just head to our website, KSAT.com.
A heartbroken community coming together to remember the life of a young woman who was brutally murdered. Last night, friends and family of 17-year-old Caitlin Hernandez gathered for a vigil at the drainage ditch where her body was found. There were so many tears for the teenager who family members say loved dogs and her sister. San Antonio police say Caitlin was strangled and they are still looking for the person who killed her. Caitlin's aunt with a message for that person.
And to the person who did this to her, come forward. Don't let them come for you. They're gonna come get you. Turn yourself in. Turn yourself in. Don't be a coward.
Now, if you know anything that can help police solve this case, please call Crime Stoppers. That number is 210-224-STOP.
Well, Texas college students have less than 1 month to meet our state's priority deadline for filling out financial aid applications. So this comes after a season of delays and glitches with the new version of the application used nationwide. After months of delays, the Department of Education started sending student financial aid data to colleges across the country. So this year, the department redesigned the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA. This is the financial aid application used by college students across the country, and it hasn't been an easy transition to this new form. The director of Incarnate Word's Office of Financial Assistance says when she got the first round of data this week, she couldn't help but smile.
I think I jumped up and stuck my hands up in the air when I got my file yesterday, because it's like, finally, we've got that first big step of I have data, I can see a processed FAFSA.
Some students are still having trouble submitting the form, specifically those with a mixed family status or ones who have parents with a different citizenship or immigration status. If that might be the case for you, we have recommendations on guidance on KSAT.com. In your morning headlines, developments in separate cases involving former President Donald Trump.
Yeah, so a Georgia judge ruling that the district attorney can stay on his election interference case if one condition is met.
And in New York, a major update in the former president's hush money trial. Our ABC's Johnny Fernandez has the latest details involving both cases.
The lead prosecutor in the Georgia election interference case against former President Trump resigned Friday. Nathan Wade's resignation came hours after Judge Scott McAfee's ruling. McAfee ruled that Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis can stay on the case if her or Wade step aside. The ruling, due to a significant appearance of impropriety stemming from a romantic relationship between Willis and Wade. McAfee stating the defendants failed to meet their burden of proving that the district attorney acquired an actual conflict of interest. And Georgia law does not permit the finding of an actual conflict for simply making bad choices, even repeatedly. Willis keeping her case against the former president, but Judge McAfee admonished her lapse in judgment and her credibility on the witness stand, stating an odor of mendacity remains.
These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
Separately, a judge in New York overseeing former President Trump's hush money case, delaying the start of the trial from its original March 25th start date. The judge allowing the defense more time to review thousands of pages of potential evidence recently disclosed by the Justice Department. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
Well, multiple law enforcement agencies are searching for a suspect who shot and killed a New Mexico state police officer. It happened Friday morning in eastern New Mexico. The fallen officer has been identified as 35-year-old Justin Hare. Hare saw a vehicle pulled over onto the shoulder of the traffic lanes and stopped to do a welfare check. The unidentified suspect shot the officer and then stole the police vehicle, that officer dying from that gunshot wound. The suspect crashed before running off. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to contact state police.
More issues for the aircraft Boeing, this time in Oregon. A United Airlines flight from California safely arrived in Medford, but a missing panel was discovered after it landed. Friday morning, the flight departing from San Francisco and landed at Rogue Valley International Medford Airport. Officials say after the Boeing 737-800 aircraft was discovered to be missing an external panel at the gate, the tower paused all flights to make sure the runway was clear. This is the latest in an ongoing string of recent safety issues for Boeing aircraft.
The U.S. Supreme Court denied a request by a Texas college student group to host a drag show on campus. Instead, it sided with administrators at West Texas A&M University in their decision to prohibit the performance. Spectrum WT, which is the LGBTQ group on campus, filed an emergency petition with the High Court to let the show go on. Their petition claims the ban violates their First Amendment rights.
It's not too late to win the massive Mega Millions jackpot. There was no big winner on Friday. It was the 28th consecutive drawing with no ticket matching all the numbers. Now the estimated jackpot rises to $875 million. The next Mega Millions drawing will be on Tuesday. Tonight's Powerball jackpot also has a big cash prize. The drawing will be worth an estimated $600 million. I mean, you know, I just want a little bit of that.
It's why I'm here this morning. So at KSAT, are you part of the pool?
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't win. That's why all of us are here. All right, it's 6:09 and 62 degrees.
Let's take a look at trends, guys, in the roads out there this morning. It's nice and clear right now.
A little bit of mist on my drive into work, and you can see it on the camera out there. That's because our chance for showers, it's still possible. Sarah will explain when we come back. Okay, it's not just spring break. Another holiday weekend is upon us. We're talking about St. Paddy's Day.
And today the San Antonio River is set to be dyed green for the occasion. The river dyeing will be from 11 a.m. to noon along the museum reach, and then again from 1 to 3 along the downtown stretch of the river. Using 25 gallons of eco-friendly green dye, the San Antonio River will be transformed into the city's version of the River Shannon, just temporarily.
Okay, so it's all part of the St. Patrick's Day Festival and the River Parade this weekend. San Antonio began this tradition back in 1968. We checked with Visit San Antonio yesterday, and it looks like all the festivities will go on rain or shine this weekend. And I know, Sarah, people were thinking, oh, should we cancel? No, because like you've been saying this whole time, hit or miss showers.
Exactly. Not a washout, but we are starting the day a little damp. I mean, there's areas of mist out there for sure. And again, keep your plans. Just bring the umbrella with you wherever you go. As we take a look out with the authority radar right now, you can see that we are dealing with mist around San Antonio. A few showers pushing in too from areas in Wilson County and Gonzales County. Areas of mist out there, you'll need to turn on the windshield wipers once or twice. And then as we head southwest toward Devine, Pearsall, Dilley, we've got an area of thunder showers here that's pushing to the north and to the east. It's moving north east at about 30 miles per hour. So if it can hold on together, it should be in the southern part of Bexar County by about 8:30, 8:45 this morning. This is the kind of hit or miss showers and few storms that we're going to see today. Obviously, not everybody's seeing rain all day long, but it is a possibility to see rain. I know it comes on the weekend, but we desperately need rain in San Antonio. 62 degrees outside right now, 59 in Boerne, 63 in Rio Medina, 63 in New Braunfels, 65 in Pleasanton, 64 in Hondo. A little bit on the cool side, and I mentioned that we have areas of mist. Even though mist is hard to see on the radar, you can see that visibility has been reduced across south central Texas because of those areas of mist. Visibility down to 3 miles at the airport, down to 2.5 miles in Kerrville, down to 3 miles in Castroville, down to 5 miles in Pleasanton. Let's talk about our weather setup for a bit because, again, this is a very tricky weather setup that we've got going. What do you notice about the showers and storms that are occurring across Texas? Well, they're pretty random. They're moving east, they're moving north, they're moving northeast all across the state. This is the kind of rain that we're going to be dealing with today. Sporadic showers and storms. We've got a stalled front, a stationary front, and moved past San Antonio late last night. This is one of the reasons why our hail threat really diminished fairly quickly in San Antonio yesterday. It's because the front pushed a little bit further south than was initially anticipated. But along this front, we're going to have showers and storms pop up. In fact, you can see that some popped up, as I mentioned, out in parts of Webb County. Those are tracking to the northeast. And then in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we've got this big low pressure system that's continuing to send us rounds of energy. That equals a very sporadic weekend forecast with rain here and there throughout the weekend. And computer models just don't handle this well. However, this one computer model is handling the showers and storms pretty accurately out in Corpus Christi. And so I trust this one more than the others. Let's just say that. As I take you through the futurecast, you can see what I mean. Spotty showers and storms, about 40% coverage, mainly during the afternoon around San Antonio today. That'll continue to the early evening hours, close to dinner time. We'll see a brief break in the rain around sunset. But then I think we could see some more redevelopment overnight tonight. I think this might be overdoing it a little bit, but especially west of San Antonio, some thunderstorms are possible. That'll continue into early tomorrow morning. Now tomorrow morning, Sunday rather, our better chances for rain are in the morning than in the afternoon. After we're done with the morning hours, in the afternoon it should be fairly quieter with just 1 or 2 isolated showers. So again, the weekend is not going to be a washout. There's going to be times when rain is more likely than not, and one of those times is later on tonight in the overnight hours. Otherwise, 40% chance, 40% coverage today and tomorrow. As we take a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, just some dampness out there right now. As we head into the afternoon, That's when we'll see about 40% coverage of spotty showers and storms. Near 70 degrees for the high temperature in San Antonio. It'll be cooler though up to the north. Temperature is only in the mid 60s for areas in the hill country, and south of San Antonio closer to 80 degrees down near Corpus Christi. Looking at your 7-day forecast, again, a weekend where we'll be dodging downpours. As we head into next week though, temperatures cool down quite a bit. Our highs are only going to be in the low to mid 60s for the first part of the week before we see temperatures rebound into next weekend. Next weekend, going to be a lot better than this weekend, guys.
You know, that humidity, even though we had that cool air come on, it's still kind of like lingering. So that gives me hope that we are going to get some rain this weekend.
Again, me too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
My bones.
You can feel the rain in your lips.
Like, come on, rain. Thanks there.
It's now 6:18 and it's 62 degrees outside.
The dangers of melatonin for children. After the break, what doctors are advising about the sleep aid and how to keep your children safe.
Now let's go to your lotto. Here are your pick 3, 3, 5, 5, and 9. And then your daily 4, 2, 2, 1, 9, 4.
Cash 5, 1, 2, 19, 30, 31. And here's the big Mega Millions. No winners. I'm upset about our KSAT pool that did not win. Now up to over $800 million. 13, 25, 50, 51, 66, Mega Ball 6, Mega Plier 5. Good luck. If you're sleepy this morning, like some of us are here at GMSA, you're not alone. Many are still adjusting that time change. But if you plan to turn melatonin for sleep tonight, health experts are urging you to keep the sleep aid out of the reach of little hands. New data from a report shows the dangers of young children ingesting melatonin without a parent's supervision. Now, nearly 11,000 children younger than 5 visited the ER after ingesting melatonin without supervision. More than half of accidental ingestions involved children between 3 and 5 years old. And the majority of visits did not involve additional medications. Dr. Jenna Wheeler with Orlando Health's Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children says melatonin should only be used as directed.
Even though it's sold, at your local grocery store or drugstore and it's easily accessible, there still are significant side effects, especially when used in amounts greater than recommended.
Well, here's the problem. A lot of those melatonins, they look like gummies, right? Or candy. And so to keep kids safe, Wheeler says to educate children that sleep aid is not candy. Another big thing, store melatonin out of reach of little hands and securely fasten the top of the bottle. All right, it's 6:23 and 62 degrees. Up next, the big question, how many online subscriptions do you pay for? I pay for too many. Between streaming, food delivery, and more, it may be more than you think. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz has 3 ways to find and cancel them to save money.
How many online subscriptions do you have?
From Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Peacock. I have a editing software. Hi guys, it's Leanne. I have a link tree to all my social media accounts.
Leanne Potter has a lot of them, but here's the problem.
I know I pay for things I don't use.
Canceling unwanted subscriptions isn't always quick and easy, so here are 3 ways to do it. First off, you have to find all of your subscriptions. Check your credit card bill for those recurring payments. There may be some surprises in there.
One easy way to do this is to use a subscription tracking tool such as Rocket Money or One Main Trim, which help you find and then cancel subscriptions you no longer want.
Number 2, opt out. To see a list of apps you're paying for, open the App Store on your phone. Click Account, then Subscriptions. From there, click Cancel on those you're done with. It's similar with Google Play Store. Finally, get organized. Keep track of those free trials or discounted subscriptions. Set a calendar alert for a couple of days before the freebie ends so you can cancel if you want. You may get a Don't Go offer for a free extension. If you accept, set up an alert for that too.
It might soon be easier to cancel unwanted subscriptions. The Federal Trade Commission is proposing Click to Cancel. Businesses would have to make it as easy to cancel as it is to sign up. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us at 6:30 on Saturday, March 16th.
Good morning. Did you have any rain overnight yesterday? You live on the
northeast side.
Northeast side.
I didn't see. I saw like a little puddle when I walked out this morning, but But it was misting, so.
Yeah, I had some mist on my drive-in this morning, Sarah, and hopefully you said, like you guys have been saying the last couple of days, hit or miss showers this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. And we do have areas of mist and even some rain out there right now. Most of the rain, though, is near Cotulla. Areas of mist around San Antonio at the moment. And I do want to mention that there have been some neighborhoods that have seen some decent rainfall. I know last night we had one storm move through central parts of Bexar County, downtown San Antonio, getting about 1/4 inch of rainfall. But as I showed you earlier, we're really seeing just mist at the moment. All of the rain confined to areas in Frio County, down near Carrizo Springs. But this is the kind of showers that we're going to be dealing with today. Pretty sporadic, and again, a few flashes of lightning possible. So here are your weather headlines. This weekend, it's not a washout, but rain chances continue. Take the umbrella with you where you go. And what we'll be watching for is, because some of the ingredients are there, any storms that develop could become strong. We'll keep tabs on that for you. And early next week, it's going to be cooler and in the 60s. Outside right now, you can see the mist out there. It is 62 degrees, visibility down to 6 miles in San Antonio. And as I take you through your KSAT 12-hour forecast today, fairly quiet this morning with just some areas of mist. Our rain chances tick up in the afternoon, 40% coverage of showers and storms. You'll notice that we did lower rain chances just a little bit today because of the sporadic nature of the showers and storms. High temperature of only 70 degrees. More on that radar and what you can expect with that cool down next week in just a bit. Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. A man is dead this morning after a shooting on the city's west side. San Antonio police say this happened at the Villas at Springvale. That's an apartment complex near Highway 90 just before 11 last night. Two people got into an argument and the suspect started shooting at the victim. According to police, that man did not survive and the suspect took off. Police are still searching for the shooter. At this time, details are limited and this is an ongoing investigation.
It's day 4 of the trial of a man accused in the death of 5-year-old Mercedes Lozoya ended abruptly after one of the defense attorneys needed medical attention.
Can we have a little break right now?
Defense attorney Teresa Conley asked the judge to pause proceedings nearly an hour into testimony Friday morning. She was taken to the hospital as a precaution. This happened as Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Kimberly Molina took the stand, who detailed the gruesome abuse and torture little Mercedes Lozoya suffered before she died.
Numerous injuries were identified upon the body, including contusions, which are bruises, abrasions, which are scratches, and a laceration, which is a skin tear. Specifically, the laceration was on the back of the head. The contusions and abrasions were scattered over the entirety of the body, most averaging around the size of an inch, but ranging up to about 4 inches.
The defense co-counsel cross-examined Dr. Molina before the jury was let go for the day. The Jose Ruiz is charged with injury to a child in the death of Mercedes Lozoya. The trial will resume Monday morning and could potentially wrap up early next week. KSAT will be there the whole time. You can live stream the trial on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, and KSAT's YouTube page.
A man is in custody, charged with a fiery crash that left a woman dead near the San Antonio International Airport. So here's a look he is now facing charges. This is 30-year-old Dominic Rodriguez. He's accused of causing a deadly crash back on March 1st. Now here's a look at that crash. Look at that fiery video there. That claimed the life of 76-year-old Eden Naval. Police say Naval was driving on the 281 flyover ramp at Loop 410 when the driver of the SUV hit her from behind, causing her car to roll over. The driver of the SUV got out, but officers say they took off and did not help her. That SUV then burst into flames. Rodriguez is charged with collision involving death. And in your morning health headlines, it's one of the deadliest cancers in America, but do you know the signs of colorectal cancer?
Well, March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and the American Cancer Society estimates 53,000 Americans will die from it this year. Now, as one doctor told our John Paul Barajas, it's a growing danger for one specific age group.
Essentially, 20-25-minute exam can be life-saving. I think that's just, I mean, you know, who can argue with that?
A colonoscopy may be invasive, but it's important. Colorectal cancer is the third most commonly diagnosed cancer among Americans, and the American Cancer Society says it's one of the deadliest, second only to lung cancer. But doctors say it's also one of the most preventable.
We know that if they would have had the colonoscopy, there's a real good chance that we would have caught this when it was at the polyp stage, when it was at that growth stage.
Dr. Ronaldo Sainz says screening is recommended at age 45. That used to be 50, and Dr. Sainz believes the recommended age will continue to drop.
That group, the 20 to 49 age group, we've definitely seen significant amounts. It's essentially almost doubled with regards to colon cancer and quadrupled with regards to rectal cancer.
Sainz tells us, regardless of age, anyone experiencing rectal bleeding, consistent change in bowel habits, or abdominal pain should see a doctor. He also recommends being aware of colorectal cancer in immediate family members.
Say dad had colon cancer at the age of 40, you know, all the kids should be getting screened at the age of 30.
A doctor says a healthy lifestyle and a good diet can go a long way by getting fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And fiber is key. He recommends about 25 to 30 grams daily for women and 30 to 35 grams for men. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, JP. So just how common is colon cancer? According to the American Cancer Society, they estimate more than 106,000 new cases of colon cancer just this year. Around 54,000 of those are men and 52,000 are in women.
And for rectal cancer, the American Cancer Society thinks there will be 46,000 new cases this year. 27,000 of those are in men and nearly 19,000 in women.
Happening today, the Tejano Music Awards Fanfare kicks off day 3 at Hemisphere in downtown San Antonio. This festival is known for being one of the biggest weekends in Tejano music. It's happening now through Sunday, and there will be live music from more than 150 Tejano and Conjunto artists across 4 stages.
Now, this is the first time it's being held at Hemisphere. The family-friendly event is free and open to the public. Lawn chairs will be allowed. Now, the festival opens at noon and ends at 11:30 p.m. each day. We have all the info on KSAT.com.
639 and 63 degrees.
We're getting closer to next month's total solar eclipse, and Schreiner University's Kerrville's campus is gearing up. What are they doing to prepare after the break?
Mist is the story this morning. Sarah Spivey says we're seeing that light mist across our viewing area, but hey, we didn't get rain yesterday in some parts of our viewing area. Sarah Spivey says there is still a chance throughout the weekend. She'll break it all down when we come back. Schreiner University is going all out for next month's total solar eclipse. So are we here at KSAT.
That's right.
We're the Eclipse Authority, since its Kerrville campus is in the path of totality.
I'm so excited for this. Now, staff have spent nearly 2 years preparing for a big weekend of events. Patty Santos takes us inside their plans and how you can participate.
Street light. Excitement doesn't begin to describe how Kim Arvidsson feels about April's total solar eclipse.
And so it's a very spectacular event that I think you have to really experience in order to appreciate it.
The associate professor at Schreiner University says Kerrville will be center stage for scientists and astronomy enthusiasts from around the world.
I just get to sit here and the eclipse will come to me. I don't even have to move anywhere, and it's just going to be 4 minutes and 25 seconds right over campus, right over this particular spot. How lucky am I?
While most people will have their eyes set on the sun that afternoon, the telescope at Schreiner's Loftus Observatory will be pointed slightly away from it in hopes of accomplishing one astronomer's goal.
But Dr. Alan Hale, one of the people who discovered the comet Hale-Bopp, that's his name. He wants to use this telescope to observe comets as they pass close to the sun, which is impossible unless something covers the sun.
Arvidsson plans to watch the eclipse here on the university lawn with about 2,000 other campus visitors.
We have had folks that are coming from Germany. We have folks that are coming from San Diego, Los Angeles. We have Michigan.
Shriners festivities will start before the total eclipse. It will host a 5-day campus-wide event centered around the celestial event.
We pride ourselves on doing things that really will help showcase that, but also give community a wonderful experience when they come here.
Adrian Wingard with Shriners says the October partial eclipse was a good run-through. This time, 16 campus apartments will be available for rent, while visitors can also enjoy wine tasting, music, and more.
That is not something you see every day. How often do you see the sun shining through valleys on the moon? Not that often.
The universe loves you.
The universe, yes, the universe loves us and Durango, Mexico, and the rest of the eclipse path.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Well, we're getting closer to next month's total solar eclipse. Scan this QR code on your screen. It will take you to our Eclipse Authority page. There you can find everything you need to know ahead of the big day on April 8th. And Sarah, I know you guys have a whole lot of things up y'all's sleeves.
Oh, we really do. We are so excited. We are your Eclipse Authority, so we've got an interactive map there on our Eclipse page. We are hoping and praying for clear skies, because April 8th, a little bit too far to see if we're going to have clear skies, although along the path we have the best chance for clear skies, at least climatologically. Not seeing clear skies today, and this was a picture of hail that fell yesterday in southeast Bexar County and out toward Lavernia. We had quarter-sized hail out there. That was the only hailstorm that popped up as the front that moved through positioned itself further south of San Antonio, and that's why those areas saw some hail. And here's a look at that weather setup right now across the state of Texas. What I want you to notice is how sporadic these showers and storms are. This one cluster of storms moving east, this one moving northeast, this one moving north. They're kind of all over the place. We've got a lot of what we call outflow boundaries, which are areas of rain-cooled air that end up firing off additional showers and storms. And these are a little bit difficult to pinpoint exact locations and times, but what we do know is that all of the ingredients are there for rain, including that stalled front to the south of San Antonio and a big upper level low, which is sending energy our way across the state of Texas. So what does that translate to? It translates to periods of times throughout the weekend where we will see a few showers and storms. It's not going to be a washout, but there will be potential for a few showers and storms here and there, especially in the afternoon today, even though we are dealing with some areas of mist right now around San Antonio. And then later tonight, especially west of San Antonio, a few showers and storms are likely in the late evening hours. I think this is overdoing it a little bit, but we'll keep you posted. And then even early tomorrow morning, a few showers are possible. But tomorrow's forecast calls for a rainier start than the afternoon. The afternoon should be a little bit quieter than the morning. What does that mean for rain chances? Well, we have lowered rain chances a little bit today and tomorrow, but there are still going to be areas of rain throughout the day today. So just bring the umbrella with you wherever you're planning on going. Tonight, a slightly higher chance for a few storms. And then as we start next week, our rain chances will diminish. Here's the picture out there right now. And you can see over San Antonio, we've got areas of mist, very light rain falling around San Antonio in pockets and patches. Out near Seguin, starting to see some light rain there as well. Take a look out near Devine, a few showers there near Devine. These are moving northeast, so they will move into Bexar County here shortly. A wider view, a few flashes of lightning down near Dilley, near Pearsall. These are moving to the north and to the east. If they can hold together, this same energy will be near San Antonio by 9:30 this morning. So we will keep you posted. Again, very random nature of the showers and storms this weekend. Outside right now, it's cool 62 in San Antonio, 65 in Castroville, 63 in New Braunfels, and 59 in Comfort. We do have areas of mist out there, limiting visibility to less than 10 miles. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Cloudy with patchy mist throughout this morning. As we head into the afternoon, about 40% chance for showers and storms. 70 degrees for the high temperature today. And looking ahead to the 7-day forecast, another opportunity for rain tomorrow as well. And then the week starts off a lot cooler than last week. Our highs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday only in the 60s before we see temperatures rebound to Friday. So kind of a messy forecast, guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be raining everywhere all at once. but it's going to come down in batches like what we're seeing out there right now.
And we need the rain, though.
Absolutely. We're in extreme drought.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right, your time now is 6:49. It is, like Sarah just said, it's 62 degrees.
In a new edition of Gardening with KSAT, I'll explain why sunflowers are beneficial to plant in your gardens and how you can do so. That's after the break.
Taking a look at your lotter, here's your pick 3, 3, 5, 5, and 9, and then your Dame 4, 2, 2, 1, 9, and the fireball is 4.
Or Pitbull Fireball. You'll never forget that now.
Never forget.
Cash 5, 1, 2, 19, 30, 31. Mega Millions, no winner. Now over $800 million. Wow. Closing in at $900 million, and we did not win here at KSAT, so we can keep playing. Here are the numbers: 13, 25, 50, 51, 66, Mega Ball 6, Mega Plier 5. Good luck.
While we might see some clouds and some rain this weekend, but for the next couple of days this summer, here is bright, and sunflowers can be a shining addition to your garden. I'm paying attention, Sarah.
They sure can, and this is an easy project for you to do with the kids. Okay. So in today's new Gardening with KSAT, I'll explain why sunflowers are important and how to get started.
Sunflowers can act as security guards or bouncers to your garden, distracting pests away from your other plants. They are good for wildlife, and most importantly, they can bring some major joy to your garden. I was inspired to plant sunflowers by a local woman from a memory care facility.
Sunflowers can be wild. Look at those million of seeds. Look, a plant that tall grows from this tiny seeds.
Let's take these seeds and see what they can do. I got a couple of varieties from Rainbow Gardens. I am planting border sunflowers, which can get 5 to 6 feet tall, and giant sunflowers that grow 12 to 14 feet tall. Sunflowers need full sun, so I watched where in my yard gets 8 hours of sunlight before planting. You want to till up your soil if these are going into new beds. It's important to add an organic compost. I also added an organic seed starter to give my new flower garden a boost. Plant 4 to 6 inches apart and sow ½ inch deep for the smaller varieties and 1 inch deep for the giant sunflowers. Make sure to keep the soil moist as those seedlings get started.
Okay, those were the seedlings. They've already started to grow, and we'll keep everyone posted.
I want to know how it goes.
And how they are doing. Okay, speaking of flowers, let's talk about our state flower, the bluebonnet. This is a beautiful time of year in Texas, especially driving around some highways because those bluebonnets are in bloom. They're all over the city.
They're all over, yeah. Right. A lot of people like to pull over and take pictures of their family all in the bluebonnets, but there is always the question, is it against the law to pick bluebonnets? Especially on public land like the side of highways and medians, there's actually no specific law against picking bluebonnets. However, there are laws that will keep you from it.
All right, so let's break it down. For instance, it's illegal to take any plants, animals, or artifacts from state parks or national park service lands. It's also illegal to trespass on private property. And the Department of Public Safety warns that there are laws against damaging or destroying rights of way and government property. So according to DPS, even though picking a few flowers may be okay, individuals should not dig up clusters of flowers because people do, or drive their vehicle into a field of flowers. You could be charged with destruction of right-of-way.
Remember your driving rules and laws like failure to signal, impeding traffic, and illegal parking. As long as you're respecting other people's property and following traffic laws, you're unlikely to face any legal troubles for picking a bluebonnet or two. But yeah, just leave them alone. They're beautiful.
Yeah, be careful because rattlesnakes
as well,
because they're wild flowers.
Okay, your time now is 6:56. There, I can see it. 63 degrees out there. Thanks, Sarah.
We'll be right back.
All right, we have got patchy mist out there and also some rain moving into southern Bexar County here. Just some light rain right now. And again, this weekend is not going to be a washout, but there will be times of showers and even a few rumbles of thunder possible as well. As we head into next week, a little bit cooler. I'm going to be tracking the authority radar all morning long, guys.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Erica.
We're not done yet. We'll be back here at 8.
See y'all at 8.